What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's staying positive and staying productive. I want to bust some fitness myths on this episode here. I like doing these. I get a lot of questions about a lot of information floating around for years, for decades, about how to gain muscle, how to lose fat, how to increase your energy, supplements, diet fads, all sorts of information. There's a lot of information out there. And for the general public, it's very, very confusing. But some things an experienced coach or nutritionist or practitioner or athlete will know anecdotally from years and years and years of experience of trial and errors on themselves and with dozens or even hundreds of other people like I have. Some things work and some things don't, okay? So on this episode, we're going to take some of these subjects and I'm going to give you my best knowledge to my ability of my experiences, what my truth is with this, and it's pretty true. So the first one I want to speak about is breakfast. When they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now, there's studies, and when I say studies, all right, a study is made by a group of people paid by somebody that's trying to prove a point. So just remember this when someone says that there's a study that shows this. Someone's trying to prove a point and they're being paid to prove that point or to show that something doesn't work. So there's a lot of variables involved in that experiment or in that scenario to be able to construe the answer of what comes out on the other side of that experiment to lean towards one side or another. So you got to take it with a grain of salt and look at it from a lot of different angles to be able to dictate whether it's true or not. Now, there's studies that show that breakfast is good in the morning time because it blunts your body from excreting cortisol and gives you energy. Obviously, depending on the food that you're eating, it's going to give you some fast intake of fuel sources. And then other people will say when you eat breakfast, you become lethargic because your body is wasting energy trying to digest food. And obviously, when you intake food, your pancreas has to release insulin, and then they talk about the insulin crash, blah, blah, blah. What I know from coaching hundreds and hundreds of people with nutrition to try to get healthier and build a good routine and lose body fat and build some muscle is that breakfast and all the meal timings are individual to the person themselves. It has to do with their ability to exercise. How many days a week do they exercise? How much muscle mass do they have on them? How much food do they need to have because of their activity levels? Okay. What is their routine like at work? What's their availability to be able to even get meals in there? And then you can decide what meals are the most important to somebody. You want nutrition and energy around your active times of the day. And if you're trying to be lean, you don't need as much fuel as just like a car when you're not active if you're trying to lose weight. And if you're exercising 5 times a week, heavy weights, and you've got a lot of lean muscle tissue on you, you're going to need a good amount of calories and a lot of protein, which takes a lot of meals to split that up. Someone else who's just trying to be healthy and make better choices and be leaner doesn't have to eat that many meals. So they can split them up. Someone who has a problem when they're not busy in the evenings or whatever time of the day it is, and they end up picking and snacking and are trying to build better habits with emotional or stress eating, these people would want to be able to save their calories towards those periods of the day and eat foods that have more fiber, that are more satiating, more fulfilling, that last longer so that they can achieve the goal that they want. So all the meals that you eat are important. It just depends on what's the best time and the best portions and the best food choices for the individual. So I hope that busts that myth for you there. The second myth that we're going to bust today is fat loss, spot reduction, all right? Especially for the females. How can I lose the fat in my inner thighs? How can I lose the fat on my lower glute, my butt cheeks? How can I lose the fat around my chest and armpit area that shows from my bra strap or my dress or my bikini? How can I lose the fat around my stomach or my love handle? Will abs work? Will this exercise work? Will these inner thigh movements work? You cannot spot reduce fat on the human body, okay? When you put yourself on a good nutrition plan and exercise plan and you're in a caloric deficit and you're not causing any inhibition to your diet with a lot of processed foods and you're not drinking alcohol and you're getting good sleep and you're hydrating and doing all the right things, your body's going to use stored body fat as a fuel source. Okay. Now, you can't pick and choose where your body takes that fat from. It works on an even level. Okay. Everybody's losing fat evenly, but then there is a certain trouble spot. And there's also certain places, certain people's bodies genetically gain fat first or more of in that area. So, for example, you'll see women that have a lot of lower body fat in their glutes and in their legs, but have smaller, tighter waists, even a waist that looks like they've been exercising and been in fitness and been super healthy, but below the belly button will be a completely different story. That's because the body genetically is made so that the woman doesn't put a lot of fat, visceral fat, on her organs internally and her stomach to never crush a baby if she was to get pregnant, okay? The opposite goes for men. You'll see men with skinny, skinny legs and skinny, skinny arms with a big old gut and love handles. And that's where men easily put on weight, and it's hard for them to get that off last, usually around the love handles and the kidney area, which is, for me, that's the last place my body loses fat at, is on my kidneys. So you can't spot reduce fat. Your body loses it evenly, and then you got to dig deep and do just a little bit more hard work to get those last places until you find your happy maintenance place. So I hope that answers that myth for you. The third one we're going to speak about today is training for a specific body type. There's so many apps and so many websites that give you these like BMR ratios to put in your height, your weight, your age, activity level. And then they ask you to pick whether you're a mesomorph or, if you're tall and skinny or you're wide and stocky. There's no specific way to train to get a certain body type to change, okay? The basis and the physiology and the mechanics of the work and the science of the nutrition is the same no matter what your body is. You have to cause a stimulus of stress through pushing and pulling weights, which tears down muscle and causes your body to want to adapt and grow more muscle tissue. To be able to do that, you have to give it the right macronutrients and micronutrients and water and sleep and rest to recover, to grow that muscle tissue. And if you're eating correctly and you're in a deficit, you'll lose the body fat. Now, if you are genetically a petite person, your process will look a little bit different while you're trying to gain tissue or even lose small areas of some body fat. And if you're somebody who's more big boned, as they would say, or wide structured or big structured, your process will look a little bit different aesthetically, but the work and the science behind it is all the same. You want to be able to push and pull weight with the best form that you can to the maximum ability without hurting yourself, and eat correctly for your goal, and you will achieve it. Doesn't matter whether you're tall or you're short. Doesn't matter if you've got wide clavicles like me or if you have small clavicles like somebody who's more petite or more lean. The science is the same for everybody. So I hope that answers that question for you guys out there. The fourth one we're going to speak about today is, do detoxes work? Do detoxes work? Your body is already genetically capable of detoxing itself. That's why you have a liver and kidneys. So do detoxes work and do anything for you? No. Why would somebody, let's reverse engineer, why would somebody want to do a detox? They've been eating a lot of bad food for a period of time through the holidays or through a stressful period of their life. Or they're suffering from indigestion problems, or they're suffering from gut problems and they got problems going to the bathroom, or they're suffering from skin problems. because their body's breaking out from the toxicity and malnutrition because they're not getting nutritious food. So then they read somewhere that, oh, if you do this 3-day, 4-day, 5-day, 1 week detox, it's help you clear your skin up or clean your gut out or be able to solve this problem or help you lose a couple of pounds. It doesn't work, because whatever you did temporarily for those 3, 4, 5, 6 days, as soon as you're back to your normal routine, you never changed anything about your normal routine. You never learned any new skill sets or tools to be able to make better choices with food, or better choices with portions, or better choices with activity and exercise, or better choices with your sleep, or how much water you're drinking, or if you're taking vitamins and supplements. So detoxes don't work. Most of the time, they do worse for the people than they do good, because the person goes from eating solid food, and usually a lot of it, to a very low caloric liquid diet. So they're exhausted, tired, cranky, and starving for food. So the minute that last shake of their 5-day shake detox or juice detox is done and they're allowed to eat normal food, maybe for that first half a day or day, because their stomach has shrunk a bit from not having solid foods, they won't do too bad. But the minute that their appetite starts to open up and their body starts pumping that insulin back in there to digest that food, they're going to make some really bad choices. And then they just go on a race. They end up regressing worse than where they started because they feel guilty, like something was supposed to really happen from the detox. So if you hydrate yourself, get plenty of fiber, get a lot of omega-3s, vitamins and minerals in your nutrition, activity, cardio output, your body will clean itself out 100% the way it's supposed to. And the last myth that we're going to bust today is going to be mind-muscle connection. Mind-muscle connection. Does it really mean anything in the gym when you hear coaches, you hear me saying all the time in my videos to my people and all my clients here, connect your mind to the muscle when you're doing the exercises. Does it have any benefit? 100% it has a benefit. Because if you're really trying to aesthetically change your body, you're trying to sculpt your glutes. If you're a girl, you're trying to sculpt your chest, your shoulders, your arms. If you're a guy, you're trying to get wider lats, whatever your goal is. You can just push and pull weight and get strong and get good at pushing and pulling weight, but not build really nice, pleasing muscles, aesthetic muscles. For example, if you look at most powerlifters compared to most bodybuilders or physique or fitness models, they have completely different physiques. And the powerlifters are lifting some heavy, heavy weight. Their only goal is to get stronger and be able to lift heavier weights. And then you'll see somebody that's a bodybuilder or a girl that's a fitness competitor with some very light dumbbells, and she'll be doing her side lateral raises or curls or tricep extensions or rows or lunges, and you will see very sculpted, very lean, very dense muscle tissue. And that's done by mind-muscle connection. That means that when they're pulling or pushing weight, they're using all their focus to be able to stimulate that muscle itself. So if they're doing chest, they're trying not to use their triceps. They're trying not to use the front of their delt. They're trying not to use their lats to push that weight up. They're trying to just concentrate through their chest. So for an example, you can see me here that I can move my chest and I don't have to squeeze to be able to activate that tissue. So I can press and still be able to wiggle my fingers, and the only work that's being done is my chest. And I don't need to have 1,000 pounds on a bar or a dumbbell or a machine to activate that, because I've practiced it over time. And that's why you see those guys or girls with those physiques flexing and posing, because they're mimicking that muscle being fully contracted so that they can actually get more stimulation in their repetitions and get better at executing those exercises. So that's why they're doing that. Sometimes they're doing it because they got a competition coming up, or they want to see their body composition and see if they need to pull back on calories or increase them. But for the most part, they're just forcing more blood in that tissue and contracting it so that they can be able to get better reps and better stimulation with those exercises and cause the most amount of stress without injuring themselves, without having to add a lot of weight that's going to put load on their tendons or joints or their ligaments. So I hope that busts that myth for you guys out there. I hope this can bring you guys some value. If you have any questions, if you're confused about any information that a friend gave you in the gym or a coach or something that you read, feel free to DM me on my social media platforms. If you need any help with anything, you can give me an email. The information's in my bio. I also have a free program out there for guys and for girls that aren't sure how to start off with or haven't been in the fitness health routine for a long time and want to get back in there. It's completely free. It's a free routine with videos, some nutrition advice, some stretching, some breathing, some stress management to get you guys started. And it'll just help you guys kind of just break away from the thought process of thinking that it's so confusing. All you need to do is just start, get the basics down, and then from there you can decide whether you want to invest into a coach or a better gym or a nutrition plan or anything like that. But I want all you guys out there to feel safe and feel confident to be able to take care of yourself and take care of your body. It's your number one asset. I hope this can bring you guys some value. If you have any questions, like I said, you can reach out. Stay good to yourself, stay true to yourself. Let nothing and nobody get in the way of the life that you want to live, and make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Show some support. Take care.